Kendrick, to me, is the most electrifying vocalist of this generation. Would you agree with that?
I absolutely would agree.
Yeah.
I would agree with that. Kendrick is at the very top tier of lyricists, not just of this generation, but of all time.
I can't wait to get into this, man. We got Party Next Door and Drake, man. Some sexy songs for you. I was gonna say for your ass. You know, that's the name of the song or name of the album. And then Give Me a Hug. Give Me a Hug. I don't know what that's about. Give me a hug. You know, but coming off the beat, it don't sound good. I know that.
Now we look up, man, and Kendrick is nominated for 7 Grammys. And 5 of those are Not Like Us, and the other 2 is Like That, which all 7 of them really is so-called diss records. Did you ever think that it would make it this far?
I mean, I definitely could see Kendrick winning 7 Grammys, but for it to be on a diss song, you know, that's where hip-hop started. You know, it started in the battles. I mean, one of the biggest and most tragic is Tupac Biggie. That's when it goes left. What's great about this, it stayed on wax, and that's a good thing, you know, it's battle rap.
Drake has once again reasserted his dominance in the rap arena by clapping back at Kendrick Lamar with a scorching new diss track. Following Kendrick's electrifying Super Bowl halftime show, where he showcased Not Like Us and delivered biting, culturally charged verses, Drake's latest release is a direct response to the Compton rapper's relentless jabs. The track, loaded with clever wordplay and sharp metaphors, not only mocks Kendrick's style and lyrical approach, but also reinforces Drake's position as a chart-topping hitmaker who refuses to be outdone.
Drake has just dissed and called out Kendrick Lamar all over his brand new album. A few moments ago, Drake has just dropped his brand new collab album of Party Next Door, and on this entire thing, he was doing a lot of shots to Kendrick Lamar in the entire music industry. As you can see right here on songs like Give Me a Hug, he was saying things like, yeah, Drake elimination, intimidation, call the rap beef from trying to get the party lit. Funny how it's only bitch people waiting on the boys' fall, because if I die, these guys are gonna come for the soul missionary and what they're gonna do with it. Small fish making kids feel emotions, using the promotion, true words had never been spoken. With Drake completely embarrassing Kendrick Lamar and destroying him all over this brand new album, I couldn't hold back. That is why I'm giving up all of my Kendrick Lamar songs on SoundMap and giving them away for Drake songs, because I need to stack up my Drizzy collection. Another time where Drake disses Kendrick Lamar and calls out the entire music industry is on Raining in Houston, when he says, these guys would die to see me losing my love. The hate from this year alone is confusing my love. I can't see things getting much smoother, my love. And Drake just continued going off on everybody on the song Greedy when he said, I've been a nice guy, people have done right by, flipped on me, but girl, it's a right. Not surprised by nothing, I just take it in stride, all the right stride. Everyone on my side, they still got love and they pride. There was even a time where Drake took a shot at Joe Budden by talking to his wife on song Give Me a Hug, when he says, Melissa Ford, you a legend from the hate to see you with a dick sucker. With Drake hating on everybody on this album, he did actually shout out a real one that has always been by his side, which was 21 Savage on the song Give Me a Hug once again, when he says the only real person checking on me when we were really some brother shit was 21 Savage.
Drake and Kendrick Lamar's relationship began on a friendly note. Early collaborations, like Lamar's verse on Drake's Buried Alive Interlude from Take Care, and the later hit Poetic Justice from Lamar's Good Kid, M.A.A.D City, hinted at mutual respect between the two artists. However, things took a dramatic turn in 2013 when Kendrick dropped his now infamous verse on Big Sean's Control, where he not only challenged a slew of rappers, including Drake, but also set the stage for a fierce competitive spirit in hip-hop. Over the years, subtle digs and later explicit diss tracks have kept the rivalry simmering, with both artists frequently using their music as a platform for personal and professional jabs.
Have you been paying any attention to Drake and Kendrick Lamar?
I think it's good for the game. I try to take it all with a grain of salt. All this shit they saying can't be true. I just mostly listening for the double entendres and the metaphors and just the skill in which they present their art. But I will say this, they done kind of stood up for some other people who were planning to drop. Things that people were like, I was gonna drop, but let me just see this through.
The most recent escalation came in 2024, when a series of diss tracks began flying fast and furious. J. Cole's comment on the so-called Big Three of modern hip-hop, which he defined as himself, Drake, and Kendrick, sparked immediate responses from both sides. Lamar's subsequent tracks, including Euphoria and 616 in LA, were aimed squarely at asserting his dominance, while Drake's earlier responses like push-ups and the controversial tailor-made freestyle further inflamed tensions.
These are my top 5 lines from Kendrick Lamar's Euphoria diss at Drake. At number 5, it's this line where Kendrick revokes a certain pass from Drake. The direct response to Drake and everyone else being like, ooh, Kendrick better come with the quintuple entendre. And then he just gives this simple line. At number 4, yeah, my first one is like my last one. It's a classic. You don't have one. Let your core audience stomach that, then tell them where you got your abs from. I really like the wordplay on core, stomach, abs. That's dope. It's just a funny line. Also, direct response to Drake and Cole calling Mr. Morale a bad album. Number 3, I hate when a rapper talks about guns then somebody die. Like Pray for My City, he faking for likes and digital hug. Drake is one of the most violent rappers when it comes to lyrics. He's always shooting someone, but he's also ironically been very outspoken against violence in his city, so this is kind of contradicting. Number 2, ain't 20v1, it's a 1v20 if I gotta smack everyone that writes with you. Imagine they looked around the room and counted, they're like, okay, good, there's only 18 of us. The most disrespectful line is, y'all think all my life is rap? That's ho shit, I got a son to raise. I can see you know none about that. Ooh.
In Gimme a Hug, Drake employs a mix of self-aware humor and calculated aggression. The track opens with a line that seems to both acknowledge his own resilience and call out the notion of fake intimidation. Drake elimination, fake intimidation. Take a minute, take a deep breath, have a little bit of patience.
As far as the beef goes, Drake does acknowledge it and kind of gives us his current thoughts on it with the track Gimme a Hug, which is a crazy title, but as crazy of a title it is probably the best track on Some Sexy Songs for You. He starts off things with just hella braggadociousness and saying,
Drizzy, you amazing, you the inspiration, you set the bar for the next generation.
And continues to echo these sentiments throughout the track. Really, it's just here to remind us that he is one of the biggest and likely influential artists for a lot of people in the music industry that are coming up right now. Additionally, he does touch on the beef directly.
These lyrics set the tone for the song, a declaration that, despite all the barbs thrown his way, he remains a major force in the industry. By referring to himself as a perennial inspiration and a trendsetter for the next generation, Drake not only defends his legacy, but also subtly hints at his belief that Kendrick's attempts at dissing him are less impactful. This is a familiar refrain in the diss track tradition, to assert one's dominance while undermining the credibility of one's opponent.
Basically saying that these people that are preying on his downfall wouldn't necessarily know what to do with their newfound attention. And if he were to go down, like, what are they going to do? They're just going to look silly at the end of the day, where he seems to have everything under control. And then he kind of puts a bow on things and finalizes his thoughts on the beef in the second verse, where he says,
I'm trying to get the party lit.
Which is probably more than enough. That says a lot. It's more than he said about any previous beefs that he's had. And yeah, it really just sounds like that's not his focus anymore. He's like, okay, that thing happened, let's move on. So I think we kind of got to get to that point as well.
Meanwhile, Drake and Kendrick Lamar's rivalry is one of the most well-known in hip-hop. While the two once had a cordial relationship, things turned sour as Kendrick repeatedly took subtle jabs at Drake in his verses.
Kendrick Lamar Duckworth and Aubrey Drake Graham have disliked each other for a decade now, so we'll start with the Drake and J. Cole song, First Person Shooter, where J. Cole says he, Kendrick, and Drake are the big three of rap music. Now Kendrick responds and says there is no big three, it's just Big Me, to which J. Cole drops a diss of his own and apologizes 3 days after its release.
So y'all love Kendrick Lamar, correct? As do I.
Formally exiting from this beef. For Drake's disses, he says Kendrick Lamar's son is not biologically his, that he's having relationship issues, and that Kendrick Lamar is physically abusive to his fiance. Now Kendrick calls Drake a rap colonizer, saying he just goes to black cultural touchstones to steal their slang and their accents to make music. Kendrick also claims not only is Drake a pedophile, but he employs pedophiles and also runs trafficking operation through his home called the Embassy. As of today, Drake has been the last one to drop a response, but the overwhelming sentiment is that Kendrick Lamar has won this beef.
Drake takes aim at Kendrick Lamar with AI, Tupac, and Snoop Dogg vocals on tailor-made
So Drake and Kendrick Lamar are beefing. Drake wrote a beef, and he did AI Snoop and AI Tupac talking about how disappointed they are in Kendrick Lamar. He wrote the raps, and then the voices sound perfect.
Oh my God.
It's unbelievable what's happening.
What is wrong with Kendrick Lamar?
They're just beefing. This rap it's competitive. They beef sometimes. I think Kendrick started this one.
Well, hip hop is an interesting thing because I love hip hop, but I don't really love bragging.
During the Super Bowl 59 halftime show on February 9th, 2025, an unexpected and electrifying moment unfolded when tennis icon Serena Williams joined Kendrick Lamar on stage. The crowd went wild as Williams lit up the stage with her impressive dance moves, while Lamar delivered his Grammy-winning performance of Not Like Us, a track that has become infamous for its pointed diss aimed at Drake.
And then he included a screenshot from an article of one of the quotes that criticized Serena back in 2012. And then this clip of Samuel L. Jackson on Sunday. Now, I was a bit perplexed by Alexis's reply. Like, it was, what is he trying to get at here?
If I'm your husband, I'm like, why are you up there dancing or something? I want my trolling your ex.
Stephen A. Smith was more focused on the song than the dance, and that being the reason that he would divorce Serena. But Alexis is making it about the dance. Okay. Like, it seems to me like he's almost, no, you're looking over here. Look over here instead at the dance.
Kendrick Lamar's performance at the Super Bowl is sending me. He took multiple strikes at Drake. He literally wore an A minor necklace. Obviously, the controversial line about Drake and minors in Not Like Us. Kendrick went ahead and performed the Drake diss track despite potentially being sued. And before he went ahead and sang Not Like Us, he teased that he wanted to sing their favorite song as in the audience, but you know they love to sue. Then when Kendrick name drops Drake when he sings I Heard You Like Them Young, this look he gives to the camera, I swear, is the most menacing smile. Also, the fact that the entire stadium was singing along to the lyric A minor. Saving the best till last, Serena Williams surprised everyone doing a cameo dancing performance during Not Like Us. She was doing a crip walk. Serena and Kendrick are both from Compton, but there is also a long history between Serena and Drake. They are rumored to have dated and things didn't end well apparently, and they've traded insults over the years. Kendrick closed out the show with Game Over appearing in lights. Has someone checked on Drake?
The fallout from the Super Bowl halftime show has only deepened the layers of drama surrounding the Drake-Kendrick-Lamar feud, turning what was once an underground battle into a mainstream cultural phenomenon. In the midst of this spectacle, Kendrick cleverly incorporated subtle visual cues that paid homage to his roots and further intensified his message.
Kendrick Lamar is a human who hates another human named Drake. Kendrick Lamar, because of this feud, put together a song called Not Like Us. I have no idea what he was saying. I don't think anyone knew what he was saying unless you knew the song. Okay, so the entire stadium knew the lyrics because he's a very famous person, because Americans apparently have no taste musically. I know, I'm a musical snob. I like Bach, Beethoven, and I've said that rap is not a form of music before becoming a #1 Billboard charting rap artist.
This is everything that happened with Drake and Kendrick Lamar this past weekend. On Friday, Drake dropped a diss track called Family Matters. Now, this was a pretty surprising track because it exposed a lot of things about Kendrick. Allegedly, he beats his wife, cheats on her all the time, and has a son that's not his son that belongs to his GM. I don't know, it's crazy. But what's even crazier is about 45 minutes later, Kendrick dropped his response called Meet the Grams. Now, on this song, he sends a message to Adonis, his mother, his father, and exposes some crazy allegations that Drake is a pedophile, he likes little girls, he runs an escort business, and apparently he was hiding an 11-year-old daughter. This track bodied Drake. And then the very next day on Saturday, Kendrick dropped another song. Now, this track was called Not Like Us, and he exposed that Drake is running crimes out of his Toronto mansion. He hangs out with other pedophiles like Baca Not Nice, and he pretty much just calls out the entire OVO crew. Now, just last night, Drake dropped another song called The Heart Part 6. On this song, he pretty much denies all the allegations, saying that Kendrick doesn't know what he's talking about, he's telling lies, and that he also fed Kendrick misinformation.
50 Cent has been vocal in sharing his perspective on the long-running feud between Drake and Kendrick Lamar, and his advice to Drake has become a talking point in hip-hop circles. In recent interviews, 50 Cent stressed that despite the intense battle and the public narrative that Kendrick is winning with his hard-hitting diss tracks and electrifying performances, Drake hasn't lost a single thing when you look at the bigger picture.
Like in Drake's case, because of the success, he's feeling the backlash of his success.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, everything that he said he did, they did, in that lawsuit, they did it.
What do you mean?
Like the Universal Music Group,
reducing the price of
everything that he did is a part of marketing.
I feel that too. Yep.
They did
they do it for everybody.
Yes,
they probably did it for him.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I would look and go, look, at Interscope, there was Delivering G Unit and G Unit. I know the feeling.
Oh, at the same time. Wow. So they're making money on both sides.
Yes. Right, because they're looking at it like a business completely, not personalizing each individual.
And play both sides.
You got money on both
They're like, whatever.
Play the record, don't play it.
They're just selling music. They don't care about.
It's not a personal relationship at all. Yeah.
You watch the battle between them?
Both of them produce material that's up to standard faster. At first, I had Kendrick not even in it because it was like boom, boom, we hit 2-3 times, and I ain't see nothing coming from Kendrick. And then it was like Kendrick was making a CD instead of a response.
Did you think Kendrick had it in him to go as hard as he did?
Look, when they started going, that they like us, I don't have to tell you how territorial West Coast people are.
Yeah, it's not just artists.
Just the people.
According to a feature published by The Independent, 50 Cent recalled the advice he gave Drake during the peak of their beef. He reminded Drake that success isn't measured solely by who lands the nastiest diss or who appears to have the upper hand in a rap battle. I told him, don't let yourself think you lost. Look at the tour numbers, the album's sales, what did you really lose? 50 Cent noted. He argued that Drake's continued commercial dominance, evident from his record-setting tours and massive streaming numbers, speaks volumes about his enduring appeal, regardless of the lyrical sparring with Kendrick.
In general, when it turned into East Coast, West Coast, you saw what happened. So when it gets to the West Coast side, and they not like us, they not like us.
They not like us, they not like us.
They going to get together, like you put them on the stage together, that was all done properly.
Finish pass on his body, I'm John Stockton.
You enjoyed it.
Yes, they're different artists. I compare Drake to LL Cool J.
Ice Cube recently weighed in on the ongoing Drake and Kendrick Lamar feud, and he didn't mince his words. Known for his unapologetic, hard-hitting style, the West Coast legend offered a blunt assessment of the rivalry, suggesting that both artists are playing into the competitive nature of hip-hop while missing the bigger picture.
In this world of Kendrick and Drake, Cube is still the champ in my mind.
Of course. And you know what, Cube? I'm glad that you came out and said it, because like with all this new stuff that's going on, you got these new people and they get numbers and beams and people forget, like it may be dope, but it ain't the number one.
Cube took on 4 guys at one time and won.
And a manager. Drake, Kendrick beef. Who you got winning? Who's up? You approve or you disapprove?
Well, I mean, I approve of the beef. I always approve of rap battles. That's the essence of the game. It goes back to, Busy B and Kumo D, and even further than that. So, it's part of the game, as long as it doesn't get physical.
In his remarks, Ice Cube emphasized that diss tracks have always been part of rap's landscape, a way for artists to assert dominance and push each other creatively. However, he also pointed out that the current beef between Drake and Kendrick has grown far beyond friendly competition. According to Cube, both of these cats are on different levels now. They're so caught up in this lyrical war that they might forget what made them legends in the first place.
Because that's not rap. When it get physical, that's just street crime. So long as it stay on wax, it's a beautiful thing. I think Kendrick is up. I think, he's landed the more hard and effective punches, so to speak. But that don't mean Drake can't get off the canvas. So I think if I was Kendrick, I'd stay cocked and loaded. Ready for
just in case.
Whatever's coming. But it's interesting, to me, it always pumps energy into the music.
What do you think of Drake's latest diss track? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.